We're recording here.
Wow, look at us.
Look at us doing the thing. Okay.
Dude. How long is a limited time? That's all I want to know.
All right. Focus up.
I can't. Oh, you can buy the carry case version for
What's
the
the-
normal price.
What's the carry case version?
You get a carrying case.
We got Pelicans.
See?
We like Pelicans
You have
more.
a little shoulder bag.
It's cute. I like Pelicans.
Yeah, well. You should own a pelican, the bird.
Yes, I absolutely should.
Yeah, anyways. We might buy that.
We might. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Follow Focus. I'm Cameron,
I am Brian.
and we are in another new and exciting location, continuing the trend of never recording the same way twice.
Yep.
Yeah, never.
Yeah, there hasn't been 2 episodes that have been the same.
Nope, and there probably won't ever be. At this point, it's a challenge for us.
I enjoyed when I told you to come over here and we were going to do it here. I was like, I enjoy not having the same set every time.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
This is kind of comfortable.
Dude, this couch
But
is
my
amazing.
side has a armrest,
Yeah,
unlike at your house.
so yeah, my couch only has the one armrest for
Oh.
reasons. I don't know what the reasons
Oh.
are. It's Kate's.
There
it's,
are reasons.
It's Kate's couch. I think that couch was initially part of like a bigger sectional. I think. Anyway, we are in your office,
We're in my office,
and it is
aka the bowling alley.
the bowling alley.
Yeah.
Very long, very narrow, great separation and depth of field in the back. Very comfortable
We
couch.
try our best.
And it's warm. For those of you unfortunate enough to be watching the video version of this and our legs are just reflecting sunlight back at you like a couple of hazard lights, we are in shorts today. That's
Yep.
how you know it's too warm.
Yep. It's, what'd you say, 80, 85, something like that?
It's getting hotter. It's 79 outside
79.
right now.
Oh, it's cooling off.
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, but you're at the very top peak. You're in
Yeah.
basically the attic of your house.
Essentially, yeah. Yeah, the AC unit is in the cellar. So,
It struggles to get the cool air up here.
yeah.
Plus, you've got, I'm jealous because you've got a ton of really great windows that let in a ton of natural light,
Beautiful lighting situation.
but then there's also the heat issue.
The heat, yeah.
The heat is a thing.
Yep. And there's 3 of them. And the sun like rises right there and sets right over there.
So it's never, you're
So-
never in the shadow
yeah,
from it.
Yeah, there's shade for like the first 2 or 3 hours of the day. Yeah. And then it's just there's sun, there's heat in here.
Yeah. So you had the genius idea, and this is good for a couple of reasons. It's good for light control, just to get this set, because you can kind of see in the back, like you can see what the lighting looks like
Yeah.
coming through the windows.
And you can see there's 2 of the ceiling.
Yeah,
What are
the-
they called?
Gable windows,
That is not the word I was looking for.
dormers.
Not even close either.
Win-
Skylight.
Oh yeah, they're kind of like
That's the word.
they're
I
like
was
half-
looking for.
they're halfway between windows and skylights because they're at like
Yeah.
45s.
Yeah.
But
So they're kind of like skylights. There's 3 of them. The
Yeah.
3rd one is up here in front of us where this beautiful light is coming from.
yep.
'Cause
Oh
my-
yeah, there's just a little chink of light on
I'm gonna have a sunburn from there.
just one stripe of tan, which
Yeah.
is, that's more than I can say for myself.
Yeah. Well, I'll get a better piece of cardboard.
Yeah, but hey,
But-
this is we were talking about dimming as well.
Yeah.
That is one thing that, to bring it back to video and lighting control,
Was it even
one-
in video and lighting control?
we kind of talked about it. Like we needed to do it for the sake of the shot.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you would just be like blasted out of existence with light.
Which I was at the beginning.
You were. But I have always wanted to do those things where if you're shooting in an environment kind of like this, but let's say you're shooting in like an office environment and you've got like, floor to ceiling windows behind you or
Mhm.
something like
Yep,
that,
Yep.
you bring like temporary tint film
Oh.
and then you literally just like tint the windows temporarily.
I've never heard of that.
It's a cool thing. It's a thing. It's a process to
I was
do.
gonna say you'd have to give yourself an extra. Is that the dogs?
I think those are the dogs, the poor dogs.
Shadow, chill. Shadow's the only one that really cries.
Yeah,
Bear doesn't care.
we should mic up Shadow sometime.
Just hear him cry the whole time.
Dude, he could be like our little sidekick, like how like
Oh, they would love to be on the podcast.
like how Carson used to have like his, what was it, Ed McMahon, was that his, I don't know.
Hi, bud.
Dallas,
That's your setup?
Looks
this
pretty
is our
good, huh?
setup. Not bad, right?
Welcome to the behind the scenes, behind the camera.
It looks pretty decent, right?
All the junk on the back table.
No, it's flavor. It's
Yeah.
character.
Flavor.
Look, I
It's-
put my golf clubs right here, my camera in the middle.
Yeah. For those of you who are if you're just listening to the audio version of this, you are missing out on some delicious flavor.
Yeah. Don't look behind the couch.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Behind the couch is where the bad flavor is, but
It's fine.
it's fine.
Should I leave him wandering? I mean, it should be okay.
Yeah, just don't let them up the stairs.
I won't.
Love you, bye.
Love you.
Have fun.
I will.
Anyways,
See, this is the thing that I love about coming to your house is that you have dogs,
thank you.
and
They're pretty great.
they are so
They're
excited
cute as
about
all
everything.
get out too. Oh yeah, that's the one thing I always see on Instagram is like dogs will make you realize like their lives, no matter what happens when you come home, what time or anything like that. They're always just so happy no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter, like they could get in trouble and be happy 3 seconds later. It's like that's how we should be.
Be like dogs. Yeah.
Yeah, be like a dog.
Be like a dog, less like a
Just
cat.
don't pee on the floor.
Yeah, don't be like a dog in that sense.
Yeah. Be like a dog emotionally, I guess.
Be an emotional dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, when we get home, because we have 2 huge crates downstairs, so
Mhm.
they are crated because they have like super crazy separation anxiety, and
Mhm.
they will eat everything if you're not if you leave and you don't put them away.
Yep.
So they're in crates when we're gone, and then when we get back, they both know to like sit. We open the crates and then tell them to go, and they'll run around the house seeing if somebody else is here too, and
Mm.
just wagging their tails, happy, sprinting around, and then they come to you, and it's all licking, jumping, biting, everything. Like, yeah, they're just love. That's all they are.
It's good to
Balls
have
of
that.
love.
Yeah.
And they're totally 2 different personalities. Like Shadow's like fragile but like athletic like build, and then Bear is like air in his head but built like a bull. So yeah.
Those are the two types. Those are
Yeah.
the 2 main like stereotypical dogs.
Yeah. So they're great.
I remember one of the earlier projects I ever worked on was Puppy Bowl.
Oh yeah.
And
That would be so fun.
oh, it was so much. I mean, they say like never work with children or animals. I have done both. And like yeah, it's a thing. So like when we were working on Puppy Bowl, we were doing the pregame show. And so that was like we were going for like an ESPN style sports anchors talking about Puppy Bowl, and we wanted to have dogs on the desk with them. They were either like in their laps or they were like smaller
Oh,
dogs
yeah.
on the desks. And this was also on a green screen. And oh my gosh. I mean, it was not as chaotic as you would think, but it was chaotic.
Yeah.
It was
there's a
pretty
level.
chaotic.
There's a level to it. Yeah, puppy. We think that Bear is going to be a puppy, like he's gonna be a puppy forever. Like he just looks like a puppy.
Mm.
I don't think he's gonna look like an adult. Like you look at him and you're like, that dog looks like he's 3 or 4 months old just by his figure.
He's got a bit of a baby face.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
and
adorable.
we don't think he's gonna grow out of that.
I hope not.
Because I think at a year he's supposed to be like full grown or whatever. But he's half the size of what he's supposed to be.
Really?
Yeah.
How old is he now?
He's almost when did we get him? November, maybe. So his birthday would be September, October or something. So we're like approaching the year mark,
Yeah.
right? But the last couple months of like getting to a year, he's like supposed to be much bigger. He's not.
Mhm.
Shadow was full grown in like 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Shadow's not a big dog, but he's not a little dog
No,
either.
no, he's a good size.
Yeah. So they're about the same size right now. Except for Bear is like a bull. Like his muscles and like just body is just a muscle.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's strong.
Yeah. It's not good for Dallas when she walks them because he's just yanking her across the sidewalk.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Just like her like running in front and she's just like in the air behind him like a
Yeah,
kite.
like literally just flying away. Wow, what a subject that we just got to.
Dude, you start talking about your dogs, it's
I
like your
know.
kids, man.
They
You just
are.
want
They're
to
my children.
Yeah.
Yeah, They so cute. They sleep in the bed.
As they should.
Yeah. A lot of people say they shouldn't.
No.
I'm like, you're crazy.
Yeah.
You're crazy. Like when we got so Shadow was our first dog together, and the first night we put him in the crate, he just sat there and cried and
Mhm.
cried and cried and scratched at the cage and cried. And after about 15 minutes, Dallas was like, "Are we gonna let him sleep in the bed?" And I was like, "Yeah, we're going to." She's like, "Okay." He came up, slept in the bed, and he slept in the same spot of the bed his entire life, right in between us, up by our heads.
I love that.
Yep.
I love that so much.
Bear. He's a wanderer, so he'll sleep in the bed for like 30 minutes, and then he'll jump off the bed and sleep on the floor out here, and then jump back in the bed and sleep in the bed.
Mhm.
He's back and forth the whole time. I don't know why.
That's
but-
kind of how that's how my cat was. I mean, I grew up with dogs, but when
Yeah.
I was living in DC, I had a cat because like I was not home enough to like be able to, justify having a dog.
Yeah.
I had coworkers who had dogs, and they would have to like spend their lunch break just like going back home to walk them and then come back because they just couldn't leave them alone for 10 hours.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah, but like a cat, they thrive on that. They're great. But Pickles, my cat, was the same way. He would often sleep in the
Pickles.
bed. Yeah, he would often sleep in the bed, sometimes on me. But then he would like get up, he'd wander around, he'd sleep somewhere else, he'd come back. He wandered.
I wonder why. Like, it just makes me wonder, like, what are they thinking? Sometimes I don't want to know.
Food.
True.
9 times out of 10, it's food.
Yep. Bear is touch me. Just touch me.
His love language is touch.
He's like, I don't care where, just touch me. Yeah. But yeah, it's fun. I
So-
love pets.
Yeah. So we were talking just before this. This always ends up happening as we're setting up these things. We will end up getting into conversations that we're
every
like, we
time.
should be recording this.
Every time.
So I wanted
Like, and not even just for the podcast either. Like what we were talking about, I was like, somebody would watch this on YouTube. Like,
Oh,
it doesn't
absolutely.
even have to be like it literally we could have set up my camera as like a secondary viewing like angle of the whole thing, maybe like facing you while you're talking about what we were doing,
Mm.
and then we could have just
Just get the pre-show.
cut just like a pre-show, like that would be some good content. I feel like a lot of people would enjoy that.
One of these days,
Yeah.
we'll start doing some stuff like that.
But yeah, so we were messing with the you had asked me if I'd ever messed with the false color stuff.
Yes.
And I was like, I've heard of it, and I've heard a lot of people, I've seen a lot of people doing it, but I've never invested my time into
That was the big
looking
thing
at
is
it.
like you
Yeah.
needed to invest the time into it and
Yeah.
actually figure out like, because like, so false color, it's not a setting on a lot of cameras as far as I know. Blackmagic has it. I know a lot of the others, like probably the FX series probably has
Yeah,
it.
probably
More of the more like
cinema style.
you're getting
cameras.
closer to cinema, like kind of
Yeah.
more professional style will
Yeah.
have this thing. And it basically is a way to, I remember the first time I looked at it, I had never heard of it before because it's not a super common feature. So I was messing around with my brand new Blackmagic camera, going through all the settings. Oh, fun. And some of them I recognize, like zebras, where it's like putting the little like stripe overlay on
Yeah.
highlights, focus assist, all this stuff. Sure, cool, understood. And then there was false color. I turned it on, and it just turns your image into this weird like predator vision, like heat map
Yeah.
rainbow thing. And I was like, what is this? And there's no like explanation built in. Not even in the manual is
'Cause I
there an
think-
explanation.
On the top of our cameras, there's like preset buttons, right?
Mhm.
Is that what they are? They're like you can set them to
The
things.
three
Three
presets,
buttons,
yeah.
yeah. So I remember like accidentally hitting it and being like, what am I looking at?
Yeah,
I was
seriously.
like, that was when I had just purchased my 6K, and I was like going from the Lumix transition into wanting to have a Blackmagic again. And I was like, I've never seen this before, and I don't really care to learn what this means.
It looks super overwhelming.
Yeah.
And it actually, I mean, to an extent, it is. Basically, it's translating how bright different parts of your image are to specific colors.
Yeah.
So instead of, instead of it just being like you're using your eye to see like, oh, this is, you know, this part of the image is this brightness, but you can't really tell because it depends on the color and all this other stuff. So you have this chart on the left side, and the chart, I don't understand why the colors are laid out the way they are. Because
Valid.
it goes from like, it's not like a heat map of like, oh, it goes from like orange to yellow, or like green to yellow to orange to red
Yeah,
or something.
yeah.
It's like it goes from blue to green to yellow to pink to gray to red, or like
Mhm.
something like that.
Yeah.
It's
So
very
that
weird.
sounds about, that was about right. Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause I
or
think it
yellow and
was-
red are like up at the top.
Yeah.
But I kind of understand why they did it. So you have very easily distinguishable like bands of color.
Yeah, telling you what's what. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's nothing like we can see. Oh yeah, by the way, this is a viewing angle for us.
Yeah, our
So this is
laptop in
like
the middle
our-
is just we
Yeah.
can see ourselves, which is new for us.
It's kind of cool because I've been watching it like I'm watching a podcast. So I'm just sitting here like talking to you while I'm looking at you.
I know it's very difficult to not just
But
like be entranced.
it looks
by
so
our
good.
image.
I'm like this just looks so natural and comfortable. you know?
Yeah, it's lovely.
But like the red focus assist line.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's hard to see that little red line.
Oh, sure.
Even if you have it at 100% like assist, like or whatever the I don't remember what the
It's like sensitivity or
something like that.
Yeah.
But it's sometimes hard just to see that little red line going across. And I
Oh,
think
yeah.
you could change the color, but
You can.
that doesn't like it's
doesn't
not
really
the
help.
same. That false color thing, like when you had my face like gray, like it was gray and the highlights were just blasted red and
Yeah.
there was a couple green spots and a couple, so it's like, and then you made the adjustments and everything and then I became pink.
Yeah.
And that was like,
And that's like, so
That
my
makes
understanding
sense.
of it, I'm still like, I can barely read the things. I'm still getting used to it.
you know, you couldn't read.
Yeah.
San
Very,
Francisco guy,
very
homeschooled. It's fine.
Yep. Totally can't read. I'm just replaying the Vine in my head. What's up? I'm Dylan. I'm 13 years old and I never learned how to read.
Fine, dude. Oh my
What
gosh.
a flash in the pan that was. Anyway, so my understanding of how to use false color right now
Yep.
is basically look at your skin tones and you want your skin tones to be pink. Pink is the band of brightness that equals like where skin tone should be so that you're getting the most natural and detailed shot.
Hmm.
So that's basically how I'm using it right now, is to look at exposure
When'd
for
you
like
start
interviews
using
and
it?
stuff. I started using it a couple weeks ago.
Nice.
And like not everything, like you can't use it for every single shot. So
Right.
like if I'm, if I'm at Adventure Park and I'm just getting shots of like coasters, I don't have anything that's a skin tone.
Right.
So I don't really
yeah.
have a point of
But I
reference
guess
on
you
that.
could see, like, should be able to tell already just from looking at it, but like super blown out stuff and stuff
Yeah.
like that kind of.
It helps for that.
Yeah. But I
I'm-
guess you have the zebraing and all that kind of stuff to do that too.
Yeah, it's not so much to help you make sure things aren't blown out, in my opinion. It's more of a making sure that you are like, if you are doing an interview,
Yeah.
I think it works really well because you can make sure that your skin tone, which is the most important part in an interview, you want to
Yeah.
be exposed to the skin tones. That is going to be where it should be.
Mm.
And
Could've
then you can
totally
kind
used
of
that
look
for
at,
CareNet, huh?
yeah, we totally could have used that. That would have been good. Absolutely.
The more we know.
The more we know.
Next time when we do it next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I love finding out new stuff about this. Like, I mean, I've been shooting with cameras for years and
Yeah.
years and years, but there are still new tools that you find, especially as you go up in the camera world of like,
Yeah.
I remember the first time I had a camera that had zebras and I was like, whoa, this is incredible. And now there's false color, which is kind of a step up from that.
I'm trying to think of, I guess, my experience with like the first thing I can pinpoint in my head, like where I was like, whoa, that's cool, like that's like such an advanced feature, is having a lens that can adjust the iris setting. I was like,
Well, like manual control.
yeah, manually controlling it. Like I was like, this is blowing my mind. Like me not thinking like I was doing this in body, like on the camera already with most of my lenses. I was like, this is so cool. This is such an advanced thing.
When
Um,
actually it's like just it's about as old school as
yeah,
it gets.
it's pretty normal. Yeah.
Yeah, but it is fun. Like
Yeah, yeah.
but I also like catch myself whenever I end up using one of your lenses, like your 85 that has that manual iris
Yeah.
dial on it. I'm like, why can't I change it in the touchscreen? Where is your setting?
The one thing that I don't like about them is how loose they are, if that makes sense.
Mm.
Like if I bump it,
Oh.
it'll go from 1.2 to 2.4. Like,
Oh, interesting.
yeah. So there's no like, I guess like hard stops. I guess you could say there's no notches. Like it doesn't like, you
Right.
know, like it just slides and
Yeah.
that's it. So that's the only gripe I have with it. But not now that I have my focus pull, I'm not really reaching around the lens and hitting
That's true.
it like
You're not
like
gonna
I
hit
used
it as
to.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I still like having electronic lens control for that stuff, if nothing else, because I can look at the screen and I can tell what my f-stop is
Yeah.
without having to look around. Like it's nice for matching things up, or to be like, I can visually look at it and be like, oh, I've got room I can open this up wider, or not. That's nice for me, but
Yeah. I just like the finite movement with it.
it's very satisfying.
Yeah, like I can dial it down or up. Shadow, chill. Anyways, but like I can like just finitely move it, and it's just like satisfying to my eyes.
And the
while I'm
fact that
seeing
it
it
is
happen.
the fact that it is smooth is kind of nice, because when you're adjusting it electronically, it is a hard stop of
Yeah.
like you're going by like 0.1 stop.
Yeah.
And it's like it is a click 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 click. You can't really adjust it mid shot. Not that you ever would,
Right.
but
yeah.
like if you did want to like adjust it mid interview or something like that, like
Yeah.
you're going to notice it.
Yeah.
You're definitely going to notice it, and if you had to use that moment.
Valid.
There's good and bad on everything.
Yeah.
But I've been really happy with my Sigma 18 to 35 for my
Mhm.
daily driver.
You know, I'd never really thought about it, but that's like the lens that everybody recommends.
It's a great
Yeah.
like it looks great. It's a nice focal length. I mean,
Yep.
I mean we talked when we shot that wedding. That wedding that we shot was kind of the reason that I went out and got the 70 to 200.
Yep.
Because I wanted something that zooms. Now, admittedly, I think I went a little extreme. 70 to 200 is a lot. And
Yeah.
and going from I also have a 50 prime. So I've got
Yeah.
like 18 to 35 and then a 50 and then 70 to 200.
Yeah. So you've got good steps. You've
got-
got good steps there.
It's good range.
Yeah. I have 16, 24, 85, and then my 70 to 300.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is a piece of junk. It's fine.
Good zoom lenses and bad zoom lenses are very different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty rough.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
If so, let's say price no object,
Ooh.
and I'm not talking about like brands or
Okay.
anything like that here. Just focal length.
Okay.
Or focal length and like speed, f-stop, aperture stuff. What's the lens that, if I were to say go out and get a new lens right now, you would go straight for?
Wow, that's a tough question.
Because you've got that set of primes, which are nice.
I think I would be. I think I would get like a 24 to 70.
That was gonna be my answer
Yeah,
too.
I think I would get a 24 to 70 because they have isn't there? There's a. Is it the RF? Is it 24 to 70?
The Canon
there's
RF,
an RF
has a 24 to
70.
70. Yeah,
So I think I've seen a lot of stuff with that one, and
it's supposed to be a really good lens.
yeah, that's probably where I would go, because having 16, 24, and 85,
Mm-hmm.
like there is that gap from 24 to 85, but I could get away with a 70 being an 85, like coming closer to the subject or whatever. And
Mhm.
really, I don't need an 85. Like the 85 is kind of excessive, if I'm being honest.
It's
like,
fun. It's fun for specific shots.
Yeah, it has a use case. But I feel like it's more specific than what I've used it for. Like
Mhm.
I use it very broadly, being like, yeah, I will make it work
Yeah.
with what I have because I don't have a 50. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
I don't have a 50 or a 70 or something like that.
Sure.
So I'd definitely be 24 to 70 because of my gap, and then I don't have to switch lenses.
That's the
You
big
know?
thing. Like,
Yeah.
I have toyed with the idea of just getting like a set of prime lenses where it's just this is the focal length of this lens. All
Yeah.
it does is 50. All it does is 24. Whatever. But
Which is not bad to have.
it's not a
Like,
bad thing to have.
I think if we have like tripod-y shoots.
if you're in a more controlled, like sit down interview
Yeah.
studio type environment,
Yeah.
then I think primes are absolutely the way
Yeah,
to
I
go.
think-
or if you got time, you need time to be able to like set things up.
Yeah. Because
So
I was just thinking, like, if like for like short films or like documentaries or stuff, like
Yep.
I think there's a use for both in those,
absolutely.
because you could do a whole short film on a tripod if you really needed to.
Oh, totally.
You know?
I think it really is just having the time when you're shooting
Yeah.
to swap. That's
Yeah.
the big thing. So like
But like live event coverage and weddings and stuff.
yeah.
If we had a 24 to 70 and a 70 to 200.
Yep.
And I ran one, you ran the other. Like I think
You've got perfect coverage.
I think we've got full coverage of everything we need.
Yeah. So I was recording a friend's bat mitzvah over the weekend.
Yeah.
We were talking a little bit about it, and shoot went really well. That was the kind of like run and gun live event coverage that I do a lot of that type of shooting,
Yeah.
where it's just like I'm just going around, I'm getting whatever I can in the moment. That you need a zoom for. Like you
Yeah.
absolutely do. And that
Yeah.
that worked really well. I was rocking the 18 to 35
Mm-hmm.
the whole time, and it worked really, really well.
Good. Yeah.
I did switch at one point midway through. They were doing the little like the speeches in the middle.
Yeah.
And when they announced that was going to happen, in the next like 5 minutes, I was like, okay, 5 minutes. I think I have enough time to swap out to my 70 to 200. So I did. I
You were
went
just
from
running on your monopod.
I was on my monopod.
Yeah.
I switched my lens from the 18 to 35 to the 70 to 200, and I switched from my monopod to my tripod.
Yep.
Was able to do that in like 3 minutes, set up at the back of the room, not quite the back of the room, but pretty far away, and was able to get a nice tight shot on the people who were giving the speeches.
Yeah.
And then they did the thing where they're cutting the loaf of challah as like part of the ceremony. I was able to literally get a close up on the loaf as they were cutting it, where it's like it is filling the frame. I'm like 30 feet away.
Yeah. That's cool.
So like that was great, and I loved being able to do that. It was a little hectic to switch because I had to switch both support systems and
Right,
lenses.
yeah.
But it worked really well, and I was really glad I had that 7200. Otherwise, I would have had to be like, to get that same shot, I would have
In
had to
their
be like
face.
right up in their face,
Yeah.
in front of like the way the tables were lined up. I would have had to be in front of a bunch of tables blocking view. So I was very happy to have that. I could have made that work with a 24 to 70. I wouldn't have been able to get the close up on the bread, but I could have gotten the shot with a
Yeah.
24 to 70 and just stayed there the whole night.
I wonder what those run.
24 to 70?
Yeah.
I don't know, because then
What if there's another option too? Because it doesn't have to be.
it doesn't have to be that Canon, yeah, because that's
Yeah.
the one thing you'd have to also adapt it from an RF to an EF,
Yeah.
and I don't know I don't know what you lose doing that. Conversions always have made me a little nervous, just because it's like,
But we don't. So, the one thing I remember with my Lumix
hmm,
was you could buy conversion. What are they even called? Just adapters, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could buy the adapter, and then, like, if you didn't buy the adapter that allowed autofocus, that cost like triple.
mhm.
You wouldn't have autofocus. Like that was the only thing that
Mhm.
when I had the,
Did you still have iris control?
I guess.
Interesting.
Remember, I didn't touch any of those.
No,
I was an
'cause-
auto guy,
yeah.
so I guess
That's true, because like autofocus, I don't care about.
Yeah.
I never
Well,
use it.
really can't.
Well, you could still do the like push button autofocus, but like so you lose that. That's what I mean. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
You really don't need
Yeah.
it. If you lose iris control, depending on the lens,
Yeah.
that could be a problem if it doesn't have a manual iris
Yeah.
override.
Wow. That's valid.
Yeah.
Because I've never thought about that either. Because I've never adapted any of my stuff. The reason I got the 6K was because it was an EF mount, and that's the lenses I had.
Yeah.
Because I ran the Rokin and Rokinon lenses
Right.
with my Lumix. Had no idea what I was doing with them. No clue at all.
EF lenses are great. I like them.
Yeah.
Like they're easy to get.
Are EF lenses full frame lenses?
Uh,
Or are there some that are and some aren't?
I don't think they are, but I'm not 100% sure.
Because I'm
That's
pretty
actually
sure there's a
interesting.
full frame EF.
A full
camera.
frame EX Pixis or EF Pixis. Yeah.
So
And I think we were just looking, the full frame pocket cinema are
said L
not.
mount.
That's L mount.
yeah, it said L mount.
And I don't think they have an EF version of that. So I don't know.
Huh.
Full frame sensors and lenses is something that I don't have a lot of experience with, just because I've never ventured into that world.
Yeah.
And that's something where that's another instance of kind of like when I first turned on false color. It's like, oh, there's a lot here that I do not understand yet, and that is going to take me some time I need to sit down and actually like research this first.
Well, I guess we have to buy it. And then we can just figure it out, you know?
That is one option. Yes.
I mean, we did just see a sale of a lifetime. 40% off of the full frame 6K.
Which I find very interesting, because I was like, why are they doing such a big sale on the full frame 6K? And then I was like, well, probably because the Pixis is coming out. Because I was like, they didn't introduce a successor to it.
No.
And then I remembered, wait, the Pixis is kind of the successor.
You know what? No, I guess the Cine 12K is like the Ursa. Because this is just a Cine 6K is what it's called.
Yeah.
It's not called a pocket, but it is the pocket.
It's basically a pocket.
Yeah, it's the form factor of your camera.
Yeah.
A little taller, a little thicker.
Yeah, but it's not like a box camera. It's not an Ursa or an Ursa Mini. It's still, yeah. It's interesting. It's very interesting. And I like the idea of the full frame. I also love the idea of the global shutter. I'm not going to lie. It was funny. I was doing the bat mitzvah. There was a photographer there, and she had whole room, I don't know what the term is for but like whole room flash, where she had like two big flash emitters set up at the front of the stage.
Yeah.
And they were synced to her and then her camera mounted flash. So the whole room would flash whenever she took a photo. And if you're looking at my footage, you can actually see there's like the one frame that's lit. And like, I don't mind that. Like, you know, there's a photographer there. It's part of the event. It's part of the moment. So that's
Yeah.
fine. I don't mind having the flashes. What annoys me, and no one else will notice this, but what annoys me is that because it's the rolling shutter, the whole frame doesn't go bright at once.
Yeah.
So it's like if you look at that one frame, it's like
It's
the
like
top
torn, yeah.
it's like the top 2/3 are lit and the bottom third is not, because of the way it's like going down. And that's just like that's one of the best examples to be like, you want to see the difference between a rolling shutter and a global shutter. There's two ways to show that. One is with that flash, and then the other is like where you're doing the whip pan back and forth and you see
Yeah.
the wobble.
So I wonder how because I actually haven't really looked at the 6K full frame. Like, I haven't really watched any videos on it.
I feel like it kind of flew under the radar.
Yeah.
Because it
Like,
wasn't
it was a big deal for like a couple weeks.
Couple
it was
weeks.
like it was their full. It was a full frame pocket form factor camera.
Yeah. I think probably because a lot, like the people you're either someone who has not gotten a pocket camera yet, in which case it's like, oh, cool, there's a full frame option now. That's probably what I'll go with then when I get a pocket.
Yeah.
Or you're someone like us who already has the other pockets, and we're like, if all it does is go to full frame, it's not necessarily like the most exciting
Yeah.
upgrade.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like you look at the Pixis and say, oh, new body style, and
Yeah.
we've got different we've got different IO, we've got a different sensor, like all this stuff. I guess it does have a different sensor, but it's not the most like
How many
earth-shattering
stops of
upgrade.
dynamic range is that one?
That's a good question. I don't actually know that.
I guess it's the same as the Pixis.
if it's got the same sensor as the Pixis, yeah. So like 13 and a bit, I think.
And ours is 12.
Ours is 12, I
So
believe.
one more stop.
Yeah. Not a huge difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, so much of it comes down to. I'm really curious where Blackmagic is headed with their camera lineup. Oh, you're reaching for your water. Gotcha.
Yeah, you put yours on the side. I didn't.
Yeah, because I can reach. I can reach off to the side. But
I forgot. Okay.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
forgot. I was being hospitable. Is that the word? And giving you water.
You are the host with the most. Yes.
Mm. There we go. Good enough.
But I'm really curious where Blackmagic is going with their camera lineup, because it's getting a little crowded.
Yeah.
Where it's like you've got, let's ignore the whole G2 thing, because you got the Pocket 6K G2. So that's just a straight like Generation 2
Yeah.
upgrade. So you've got the regular 6K.
And you're not a G2. You're a pro.
No, I'm the pro.
So the G2 would just be the upgrade of mine.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Which basically, I think the main thing that did was make it so that, like, well, we found out the other week, your camera uses different batteries than mine internally.
Well,
Um,
it kind of blew my mind.
Yeah.
I was like,
and they're like significantly worse batteries.
yeah. I was like, this is not good.
Yeah. You made that work.
I did. I had my. Oh, it's not on there. I think it's somewhere. But I do have a little 99 that is like tiny.
A 99 watt
Yeah.
V mount.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the size that mine are. They're a nice size for like just a little like on the go.
And what did I even shoot with it? I don't even remember.
You were shooting stills.
Photo. Yeah.
You were shooting stills.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think it went down like 10%.
I can imagine.
They turned out well. I mean, what do you expect out of a cinema camera? You know,
Good images.
they came out good.
Not like 20 megapixel images. They're
Yeah.
just they're still just 6K resolution, but
Yeah,
they're good.
yeah.
But yeah, so you've got the 6K. No, you're good. So you've got the 6K and the 6K Pro, which at this point with the next generation thing, the difference is basically like the Pro I think has the extra XLR input, internal NDs, and then
Internals,
the rotating screen, the swiveling screen.
Yep.
So like, okay, cool, that makes sense. Then you've got the full frame,
Yep.
which the fact that the full frame is a separate thing, I guess because of the lens mount difference.
Well, that is interesting too because it's not pocket, but it is pocket. Like,
It's the body style of a pocket, but they're not calling it pocket.
wonder if it's bigger than yours.
It might be. It's just like even chunkier, and they're like, okay, that's the line. We can't call it pocket.
Yeah.
Not that you're fitting mine in your pocket either,
Right,
but
yeah.
so you got that. Then you've got you're gonna have the Pixis,
Yep.
which is basically the same thing
A
as the
whole new
6K
thing.
full. It's the same thing as the 6K full frame, just different body style. Then you've got all the Ursa minis,
Uh-huh.
and then you've got the full-sized Ursas,
Yep.
and then you've got the Ursa Cine,
Cine. Yep.
which is the new like high dynamic range kind of like Alexa killer, or
Yeah.
like getting close to an Alexa killer. That's a lot of cameras with not like the differences between them
Yeah.
are very.
The 6K's been out for a while too.
It has.
So
it's
it's
still
like-
valid.
Oh, it's still. I mean, I would have upgraded last week if it wasn't like a workhorse. You know,
Yeah.
thing's a monster.
Oh yeah.
Does a great job, and then, like, you're pretty right because there's not much difference between like even just jumping from mine to yours. Like you get the extra mic and the internals.
Yeah.
Internal NDs. It's like
It would be a slightly bigger difference because you have the Gen 1. But with the Gen 2 that has the like they then have the same batteries and all that, like I
doesn't
don't know.
matter. I'm beam out.
It kind of feels like the way that Apple's iPad lineup was up until like like last week when they came out with the new iPads. Like they condensed their iPad lineup down a lot, which I appreciated.
Yeah.
Because before it was like, okay, so you've got the iPad, just the iPad, which is different than the iPad Air, which is different than the iPad Mini, which is different than the iPad Pro 11-inch, which is different from the iPad Pro 13-inch. Oh, and we're also selling like an iPad that still has the home button because that's our cheap iPad. It's like the iPad 9th gen or something. So it was like, okay, what iPad do I want? Like that was so like
it's just
Like you look at Apple's iPhone lineup. That is the model that I like to see for hardware,
Yeah.
where it's like, okay, you've got
A
like
regular
you got a regular, you got a Pro, you got a
You
couple
got a-
different sizes.
plus. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's it.
Max. Yeah.
Or like now it's like it's still a little much on the iPad side, but it's like you've got the iPad Airs in 2 different sizes, and then you've got the iPad Pros in 2 different sizes.
Which is where they have their laptops.
exactly,
So-
that's the way their
so, yeah.
laptops are. So
Yeah,
it makes
they're-
sense. That's what I would like to see from Blackmagic's camera lineup.
Yeah, and it's never it hasn't been significant like enough to be like it hasn't been significant like you were saying like nothing really makes me want to buy or go to the full frame
Mm-hmm.
6K Cine.
And like with the Pixis coming out,
I got excited about the Pixis because
Oh,
of the
sure.
form factor.
Form
like
factor-
that's all I talked about the whole time.
oh, huge difference,
Mounting
absolutely.
points, form factor. Like I'm sure it would do great on a gimbal.
But let me ask you this: what is the difference between a Pixis and an Ursa Mini?
Form factor.
Really? Because the Ursa
You've
Mini
seen
is
the Missy? Have you seen one of those?
the Ursa Mini is a very similar form
That
factor.
thing's like this big, bro.
No, not the Ursa full.
No, the Ursa Mini is like this big. It's
How-
massive.
It's not that big.
It's massive. I had one. I had the 4.6K.
How big are the full sized Ursas?
Have to be huge.
I've never
Because,
seen one in person.
Like, you see the size of my camera with the lens on it.
yeah.
That's the size of the body of the Ursa Mini. Like, it's huge.
So is the full sized Ursa like the size of like a bread box or something?
Probably.
Jeez,
Like, I'm not even exaggerating. Like, it's large.
I need to look up the specs now.
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, then I
And
guess
then you
that
add
kind of
it
makes sense.
because then it's like it's naked, right?
right.
So then you have to add like a top handle and a cage and like that type of stuff. It gets big.
Yeah.
It gets big quick. Obviously, I haven't seen like dimension comparisons or anything because I really haven't looked like to the Pixis. But
I've
like
barely seen
this,
the Pixis in
like
context.
the naked body of our pocket
Mhm.
compared to the naked body of an Ursa,
oh sure.
it's like 4 of our pockets stacked
Yeah.
in front of each other.
Okay, so I guess the Pixis is still like it's like in
Probably
between.
half that. Yeah, it's probably about half. So, yeah, the
Okay.
Ursa's huge.
Yeah.
Even the Mini. The
I guess
Mini's pretty big.
I guess I thought the Mini was only like this big or something.
No.
Like maybe a foot long.
Well, a foot is about 3-4 times ours.
Oh sure, but I don't
Yeah.
think that's that different from what the Pixis is going to be lengthwise.
You don't think it'll be that?
Hold on, hold on.
Pull it up. Pull
Hold
it
on.
up. Let's live.
I'm
Let's
going,
live.
I'm
Pull it
going
up.
on my phone. Let's see here. Let's look at the specs.
So, anyways, we just saw a really cool sale. I got a notification on Reddit while you're looking at this.
Hmm.
Got a notification on Reddit that the 6K full frame is like 40% off right now. So we might maybe buy one. I don't know. $1,500, dude.
pretty
$1,500 for a brand new like everything's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
You know what they might be doing?
Hmm.
The Pro might be coming out.
The what Pro?
6K full frame Pro
Oh, that could be interesting. That would be cool.
or a G2.
Mm-hmm.
So they might be following the footsteps of their already 6K line.
Oh my god, the tech specs on this thing are like 5.5 volumes long.
Wow.
Okay.
All right, give me dimensions.
Wow. Okay. So the Pixis is
Do you just do a versus? Like a Pixis versus
no,
Mini?
they don't. They don't.
Oh,
have that
okay,
yet.
okay.
So
Pixis
I'm
size, yeah.
the Pixis is small.
Okay.
The Pixis is less than 6 inches long, body wise.
Wow.
So it is basically rounding off by a couple tenths. It's 6 inches long, 4 inches wide, 5 inches tall. So it's smaller than a 6-inch cube.
That might be this like 2 of my little small rig lights.
Yeah. Let's see. So
So that's
Ursa.
not bad.
No, that's tiny. That's not that much bigger than like our body.
Yeah,
Like,
I was
if
gonna
you-
say, yeah.
If you kind of like just kind of squish it a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Ursa Mini Pro 12K. Let me scroll through the 8.5 years worth of tech specs on this thing. Oh god, and then there's all the accessories and all that stuff. My god. Okay. Scroll. Okay, it's not as different as you might think.
Come on.
The Ursa Mini is 9 inches long.
That's a big difference.
Dude, that's 3 inches.
That's a third bigger than the Pixis.
Yeah, but you're already tiny. Think about that. So you're going
And
from...
that's for the Mini.
That's for the Ursa Mini.
9 inches is how long the camera is.
9 inches long, and then about 6 inches. It's about 6 inches. So it's basically the same. Basically, take a 6-inch cube. That's the Pixis, and then add 3 inches to a 6-inch cube, and that's the Ursa.
That's a big camera.
I don't think that's that big of a difference.
Come on,
Is it
dude.
bigger? Sure, absolutely. It's a beefy boy, but I don't think it's that much of a difference from the Pixis. Like, think you put the Ursa next to a pocket camera. That's like, yes, that's a huge difference. Like, that's the mini camera and that's the big boy.
Let me see the picture.
Look at that. Look at that.
Look at that. That's massive.
How are you going to say
And
that?
you have no mounting points. You have no anything attached. You don't have
Granted, yes.
a battery on there.
You don't have battery on the Pixis either.
Yeah, but the mounting point. Wait, that's not. Wait, let me see that again.
Huh.
What is that? That's the Pixis.
That's the Pixis.
That looks way cooler than the Ursa.
Oh,
It
I'm not.
looks so
I'm not saying
good.
it doesn't look cooler.
I thought I was looking at the same picture as the Ursa. I was like, wow, that actually
You
looks
thought
really
you were
nice.
looking at the same one because they're so similar.
Well, yes, they're similar, but the Ursa is just dumb and angled out and weird shaped.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're
Okay.
gonna look. We are now going to look at the full-sized Ursa.
Wonder how many people noticed the donut logo on the laptop.
Hopefully, several of you.
Well, now
It
you
was
know.
it was intentional. Let's see.
I hate
Product.
how you have this as like time code and not like a runtime.
Oh well, that's because I was using it for the event shoot. I was using it basically as a clock, so I knew like when things were happening because I have it synced to time of day.
Wow.
I
It's
know.
not
I'm
like
weird.
what's on your left wrist right there?
It's a watch.
Oh, okay.
I'm holding a camera on a monopod. If I'm like mid shot, I don't want to have to let go of my rig.
So
to
you're
see
looking at what time it is mid shot? No.
Literally, I am.
No.
Because when they're like, oh yeah, the sparkler send off is happening at 10:30, I need to be keeping an eye on that to make sure I'm ready to go at 10:30. All right, hold on. I've got the Ursa Cine. I'm pulling
Look,
up the tech specs.
Oh, you missed it.
What did I miss?
I did a thumbs down.
Oh,
I didn't
there
even,
you go.
I didn't even do the thumbs down. I went like this.
Yeah. So because we're looking at our live feed through just a QuickTime player on my laptop, all those stupid Apple FaceTime like reactions will play back on the screen. So if you like put your 2 fingers up, it does like balloons and stuff. It's very weird. I think they have those disabled by default now. They used to be enabled by default, and like it freaked a lot of people out. Okay. Ursa Cine. This is the big boy. You ready for this?
Oh, the thumb doesn't change directions. That's dumb.
That's unfortunate.
All right.
Okay. Ursa Cine dimensions.
Cine dimensions. Here we go.
11 inches long.
Wow.
And then... Well, this is a little confusing because they
here
have...
we go.
Well, because they have... The Ursa... The full-size Ursa has like... It has the handle at the top that can
Yes.
be removed.
Yeah.
And it has
That's the handle I had on mine.
Yeah, and it has that like shoulder pad thing,
Yep.
which
I
can
had
also
that
be
too.
removed.
Yep.
So I would argue that actually, if you don't count those, because like the other cameras don't have those, like you can strip those off and just be like, if it's just the body,
Let me see a picture of this.
it's still 11 inches long,
Holy crap.
but it's actually about the same. It's the same height and width. So it's basically,
What are they adding in there to make it longer?
I mean, well, for one thing, it's got the monitor flips out on that one.
Right. Yeah.
The Ursa Mini and the Pixis don't have a flip out monitor. It's
The
just
Ursa
pointing
Mini
to the side.
does.
The Ursa Mini does?
Mine did. My 4.6K Mini did.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe this one does, but they don't. If it does, they don't have those dimensions in the thing. No, it doesn't. The Ursa Mini actually doesn't have any kind of like display. It has like a little time code running thing, but it doesn't have any actual like preview display, from what I can tell.
That's weird. This is the 12K.
It's the 12K Mini Pro.
No, that has to be Is this the side? Yeah. That's absolutely a door. Cause that's the button you press in.
I think that's where the memory cards are. Here, let me go to some imagery. Go to some like product imagery. Like go back.
Back?
Yeah.
What am I looking at here?
Oh, this is the mobile version of Arc. There you
Yeah,
go.
there it is. See?
Well, why do they not have dimensions for that? That's weird.
So that's the same thing that my Mini had.
Yeah, okay,
like
that
you
makes more
press-
sense.
You
So
push
there's
the
a door.
button and it opens the door.
So why don't they show it with dimensions, but the full-size 12K, they do show dimensions?
Weird.
Very weird,
Maybe they just want to add more pages.
I guess. But so basically, the actual like body is basically Pixis is a cube.
How big is
Ursa-
ours? 3 inches?
Oh gosh, I don't
Supposed to
know.
go 3, 6, 9, 11.
Hold on, I'll open up another page. Dang it.
Just like on your computer, you had like 700 tabs. Good thing it's not Chrome.
Absolutely. Arc for the win.
I haven't. Oh my god, that was a motorcycle. I thought that was my brain vibrating or something. I don't know if you heard. I was like,
Does
I was
this
like,
happen
what
to
the
you
hell?
sometimes?
sometimes you never know, dude.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Wow.
Okay, tech specs. Hold on. Here we go. Our cameras are... Wow, that's anticlimactic. Do they not have it? Like,
Shadow. Stop.
do they not have dimensions listed on this one? Oh, wait, no, here we go.
I was
Okay.
about to say, what a letdown.
Yeah. 7 inches wide.
Okay.
And then about a little under 5 inches deep and tall.
Really?
Really? Look at that. It's a little misleading because the body kind of slants a little bit, kind of like
Dude,
the
the
Ursa.
Pixis is small.
The Pixis is tiny.
Holy
The
cow.
Pixis is really tiny. So it's basically like a little... I mean, it's actually probably about the same amount of volume.
Yeah.
It's just like shrunk a little. It's
and not as
skinnier.
wide.
Yeah, it's not as wide. And instead it's just basically put ours into like a little trash compactor, like Wally style, and the cube that comes out is the Pixis. And then you
What
basically
the
take
heck?
that and you add like 2 inches for an Ursa Mini to like you stretch it 2 inches for an Ursa Mini, and then you stretch it another few inches for the full-sized Ursa.
I'd like to have them all lined up. Let's just buy all of them.
I mean, there is a solution to this, which is we take a road trip to the great B&H Superstore in the sky. And by sky,
Where
I
is
mean
that?
New York.
Do you want to go?
Always.
Want to go right now?
I have wanted to
Let's
go
go.
to the B&H Superstore. I have wanted to go to the B&H Superstore since I was a kid
Let me.
because I'm cool.
let's see here.
Because they've got them all lined up. I mean, they might not have the Pixis yet, but they will have the Pixis soon.
You don't think they have the Pixis?
If it's not shipping yet, they probably don't have it on display.
Huh.
But hopefully a couple more months.
All right, middle of June. I'm pretty open.
Summer in DC, summer in New York.
Between the 7th and the 15th, I have nothing. Yeah.
When does the Pixis release? Hold on.
Oh my gosh, if there's a Pixis there.
It's like
I cry.
it's like going to Disneyland and seeing your favorite princess, except it's camera bodies for us.
Oh, Cam. You go to Disney to see your favorite princess? That's kind of crazy.
Have you not like been to Disney? You do realize that's like
Yeah, I've been
half
to
of the
Disney.
half of the
but
people
I
who
don't
are
go
there.
to see a princess.
Neither do I. The lines for that are absolutely crazy. You find them wandering around. That's how you do it. You just gotta be patient. So they don't say. Hold on, I'll check the B&H phone. And by the way, the reason that we're having such in-depth conversations about these cameras and their bodies is because we are like looking at, especially for you, because your camera is like
Me.
your camera is kind of like the weakest link right now
Yeah.
between the two of us. So it makes sense to
Should
like.
we go in the middle of the week or on the weekend?
Well, we gotta see when they're actually getting released. Let's see. Blackmagic.
When do we When's that job? 18th. 18th, 19th.
Just says available in June. So sometime in June.
So we can go in July.
July could be fun.
Wow, there's like no events in July.
Nice.
That's great.
Kate's been wanting to go to New York with me for a while because I've only ever been to New York for work.
Really?
Make it like a fun trip. See a show.
Probably
to-
won't see a show.
Go to B&H.
Let me think here.
This, by the way, is a perfect example of how Brian's mind works. Like you just you see something and you just latch onto it and immediately are like, yes, let's make this happen.
I have 2 events in July.
We can schedule around that.
Let me text my mom and see.
Is this a sign that we need to wrap things up for today?
No.
We are almost at an hour.
Really?
We are
How do you
almost at
know?
an hour.
How do you know?
Because I have time code on the
Dang
road.
it. You looked up there.
Yeah.
Cheating.
I'm so sorry. It's because I have a watch,
Yeah.
as you so accurately pointed out.
Sorry. I had to ask when vacation was this summer.
Oh, big family vacation.
Yeah. We do it every year.
That's fun.
Yeah. But just to make sure that we don't schedule our New York trip during that,
Or make it so the family vacation is in New York.
they would hate that because there's no beach. Well, there is a beach.
New York no. That's like saying San Francisco has a beach. It is technically true, but it is not. It's like the only things that are on San Francisco beaches are sharp rocks and great white sharks. That's
Wow.
it.
Sharp rocks and sharks.
Yep. And yet people still go like wind sailing there. It's cold as heck. I don't understand it.
That doesn't make any sense.
It really does not. It's like we put Alcatraz in the middle of that water so that people wouldn't want to leave Alcatraz. And you're going to willingly jump in there?
Is Alcatraz still like active?
As a tourist destination, yes.
So that was a dumb question, huh?
No, I've been there. I went to Alcatraz once, and it was literally like a month before I moved away from San Francisco. Because it was one of those things of like, it's a tourist thing. Like, who cares? Went and did the Alcatraz tour like a month before I left. It was lovely. It's actually very cool.
That's why that's how I am with just Frederick and DC and Baltimore.
Yeah.
It's like I've probably been to DC to do like museums and stuff 7 or 8 times in my life.
That's still a good amount.
Yeah,
I mean, that's more than I think most people who like grew up here
probably.
have done.
I think I've seen the White House 3 times. It's like right there.
It's also like seeing the White House is kind of like, okay, you walked up to the fence that's like a mile away from it, and you saw it from a
It's not
distance.
a mile. It's like 150 feet.
Feels like a mile.
You get sniped any second. Jump the fence.
This is
Try
true.
it.
No, thank you.
Oh, okay. Good. You weren't
I'm-
as dumb as I thought.
I'm good.
Oh, it's in August. Nice.
Perfect.
Hopefully I don't have any events in August. So yeah, we're going to New York in July.
Maybe here's what we do: we bring our cameras and we record like a little vlog of us going to the B&H store,
That's a great idea.
and we get a shot of like the doors opening from the inside, and then we've got like a big golden light, and it's like we're just opening the Ark of the Covenant, and we're just like, ah, welcome to the B&H Superstore.
Welcome to New York. That's a song.
Isn't that Welcome to Miami?
No.
Not New York. There is a Welcome to Miami, isn't there?
No?
I could have sworn.
Welcome to New York, Taylor Swift. That's how I know.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry. So yeah, trip in July.
done.
Do we GoPro it or do we what if that's when we buy our new camera?
Oh, I was already thinking that.
Oh wow.
Like that can be the moment of like, okay, we've made our decision. We know which one we want. We're walking out with it. Gift wrap that.
If they don't have it, I'll probably throw up. If we
I'm gonna
and
go.
I want us to not look at availability and just go and be like
I'm gonna.
surprised.
I'm gonna go up. We're gonna go up to like whoever's working the camera floor that day and be like, okay, so just so you know, we should warn you. If we end up wanting a Pixis and you guys don't have it in stock, my friend Brian here is going to throw up all over everything. And knowing the kind of people that shop at B&H, they'll probably be like, "Oh yeah, no, we know."
Here's a trash can.
Yeah, the throw up corner is over here. Like, just go over there.
Oh boy. Is it big?
The Superstore? Oh,
Yeah.
apparently it's huge.
Really?
Like, I forget how many stories it is.
Stories.
Yeah, it's multiple stories, and it's broken up. So it's like there's the video level, the audio level, the photo level, all this stuff.
Really?
It's huge. It's their one location, and it's massive.
I didn't know this was a thing.
Oh yeah.
Is it in Times Square?
No, I don't think so.
Ah, boo.
That's you get stuff like the M&M store and stuff there. Let
That'd
me
be
see.
cool.
BH.
Do we just make it a day trip, or what do we do?
I don't know. I think New York is just far enough away that you need to, at the very least, make it a thing. Okay, it's in Chelsea. It's like a block from Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, act like I know where this stuff is.
Well, I mean, you know of Madison Square Garden,
Yeah, that's where they do boxing, right?
among other things. Billy Joel's there, I'm pretty sure.
He's still alive.
Oh yeah,
Really?
He just finished his residency at Madison Square Garden.
What does that mean?
Like
That's the only place he plays?
he not the only place, but he like had a recurring gig there for like years, or a long time.
Why do you know that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I truly don't know. It's on the corner of 9th and West 34th. But yeah, it's
It's a big difference in numbers.
well because of it's the grid system.
I lived in Jefferson all my life.
Jefferson does not need a grid system.
It does not.
They
I mean, there
really do
is a
not.
grid. Jefferson Pike and Horine Road.
That's an angle, not a grid.
That's a plus sign.
Yeah, it's I can't see how big the place is, but it's big.
How much should we do an Airbnb?
Oh gosh, for New York, I don't know. I feel like Airbnb at this point might actually be more expensive than a hotel room.
Well, you need 2 hotel rooms,
True.
so it might be worth it.
That's true.
And it'd be a New York Airbnb, so it'd probably be pretty cool.
Probably.
Airbnbs are pretty.
They can be, but I've heard like there's all the like crazy fees and stuff that they're doing now of like it's
I
a
don't
$150 cleaning fee.
I don't care. It's a business trip.
I mean, it would be a business trip
I like that.
for saving on shipping.
We'll have like $1,200 in expenses, and then be like
To say nothing of the camera.
we saved that free shipping that we probably would have got with the
I believe if you spend more than $60, you get free shipping no
Yeah.
matter what.
And
And I think
how that works. How does that work? Why is it just free now?
for them,
They're paying for it?
I mean, I think it's probably because the margins that they make on selling you a camera are probably pretty decent.
So if I bought like $100 worth of USB cables,
I've literally done
their
that.
margins would be
Their margins are enough that
to
they can
save-
spend like eat the $5 on shipping.
I guess that is true. Shipping's never really that much.
Not usually, though. For something like an Ursa, that boy's gonna be heavy.
Think we could land a couple jobs to cover all this,
Sure,
like in the next month?
absolutely. I got contacts in New York.
We're
I'm-
gonna do jobs in New York.
Isn't that what you meant?
Well, I mean,
Oh, you mean just getting
In
just
general.
getting enough jobs
Yeah.
to pay for a trip to New York to buy a Pixis,
Yeah.
or whatever. Maybe two Pixis.
oh my gosh, I was just about to say that.
Two Pixises.
Pixie.
Pixie. Yeah, I want a Pixie.
Pixises. That's like every time I type Dallas's, I'm like, it's just weird. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's just
It feels
on the
unfinished.
outside. I'm like, why is there no other? It's this, you know. It's like just,
Yeah, that's weird.
yeah. We could totally. Anyways, my brain is working on the business side right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
On
I've
that
turned business brain.
on that note, I think we have conversations to have about what cameras we're going to get in July because now we're on the clock.
Cameras.
Yeah, I mean at this point, the cat's out of the bag. I'll sell my 6K Pro.
You know, I got a quote on my camera.
Really?
Guess how much?
For the 6K. Just the body?
Just the body.
Just the body.
Just from one of those random, like, I think I got, like, it was right before we really started doing a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
Because I was like,
Okay.
you know, I don't use it a lot. Maybe I'll just buy another Lumix.
$650.
That was pretty close. That was pretty close.
What was it?
$698.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah. For just one of those sites that's going to resell it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like for a first gen regular 6K,
Yeah.
not bad.
Yeah. I probably could private sell it for maybe 1,000. Maybe list it for 1,000. Get $800 maybe.
Probably.
Yeah.
B&H does buybacks on gear
I
too.
wonder. Maybe we could take our cameras and record our going there and then pick up the trip using the new camera and be like, well,
We walk into the
There's solar
store, we
cameras.
capture it with the 6K Pro.
Yeah.
We walk out of the store capturing it with a Pixis.
uh-huh.
That'd be pretty
It'd
good.
be pretty neat. You know, we would have to like buy a Pixis like kit. Like we would have to build the Pixis.
We would have to have the get
Yeah.
all the small rig
Plus we
stuff
want our
and the
USB-C.
cage. Well, the Pixis has that like strap on the side to like hold on to
Does.
the thing.
Hmm.
I don't know how you would do V-mount and all that stuff, but there are ways. My V-mount plate just like bolts on.
How did it work? I don't remember how it worked with my Ursa. I think it has a built-in V-mount plate.
Ursa has a built. At least the
Yeah.
full-sized Ursa has a built-in
Yeah,
V-mount.
I think the Mini
The
did
Mini
too.
might
That's why
too.
it has that weird angle on it. And it just
Yeah,
slots in.
yeah, it's pretty
So
nice.
my original V-mount. Sorry, we're not leaving yet.
Yeah.
My original V-mount has a piece of Velcro on the back.
Mm.
And then my original CFast to SSD card slot,
Oh yeah.
it was Velcroed because I bought it as a kit.
Mm-hmm.
It was Velcroed to the V-mount, which then fed into the door that opened for the CFast slot.
Crazy.
It was a pretty cool, like, it was the first time I saw a kit, like, it was terribly built out. Like, it was so, like, there was no cage, there was no nothing, but it was, like,
It worked.
it was a kit. It wasn't anything like I've seen before. I was like, oh, cool. So it has things mounted to it, and,
Yeah.
like, you can, like, totally put upgrades and things on this thing. I was like, that's nice.
That's why we have the cages.
Because I don't even think I had a cage on my S5.
Really.
Yeah. So the first thing I ever kitted out was really that.
I mean, it makes sense. S5, you're not necessarily adding a whole lot of stuff. You had a shoe, I'm assuming.
No, I don't think I did.
Really? S5
Yeah.
didn't have like a cold shoe even?
I think it did, but I didn't use it. That's what I'm I can't remember now.
Lost to the
Had to
annals
have.
of time. They must have had something.
Had to have. You know, it was a very good photography camera too.
Yeah.
I think it has a 26 megapixel sensor or
That's
something.
pretty good. That's
Yeah.
lovely.
Yeah. The photos that came out of it were great.
We're gonna have to add a good still camera to our camera lineup at some point.
Yeah. That one, the S5 2X, with the internal ProRes would be good.
That would be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
All right. We can talk about camera bodies all day until
Yeah.
the cows come home. And
Yeah,
we
we
probably
could.
will. Tune in next time for when we will continue this conversation.
Oh, I have another note to add
Oh,
about
yeah?
this thing we're doing in July. But
Yes.
I'll tell you after.
Okay.
It's fine.
Save something for later.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for listening, watching, however you're enjoying this podcast. This has been a Purple Donut Studios production. Feels good to be saying that.
Boom.
And we will see you guys next week. Peace.
Bye.
Cool.